To make our fondant, you're going to need powdered sugar, some vegetable shortening, mini marshmallows, a little bit of water, and of course your Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid comes in like 91, I think, different flavors. So you have a lot to choose from, but you'll need to keep in mind not only the color of the Kool-Aid, but the flavor as well, for whatever fits the particular project that you're working on. Let's go ahead and get started. The first step is we're going to dissolve our Kool-Aid. So I've got a 1/4 cup of water in my measuring cup here, and I'm going to, for the first batch, add the entire packet of strawberry Kool-Aid. Now, there's only about a teaspoon of powder in this packet. So I'm just going to stir that up until all of my Kool-Aid has been dissolved. Now I have a microwave safe bowl and I've coated it with a little bit of vegetable shortening on the inside. This will just help keep your marshmallows from sticking. And I'm going to add my 10.5 ounce bag of miniature marshmallows. And then I'm going to add my dissolved Kool-Aid. I'm just going to stir it up a little bit. Now I'm going to put this in the microwave for 1 minute and give it a good stir. And then I'm going to put it in at 30-second intervals until the marshmallows have just melted. My marshmallows have been melted. It took about 2 minutes in my microwave. Now I have my stand mixer bowl here, and I've lightly again greased it with vegetable shortening. This will just help your marshmallow mixture from sticking, and I'm just going to add it to this. I'm going to use my stand mixer and a dough hook to make my fondant. You can also do this by hand. We did a whole video on how to do it without a stand mixer. I'll put a link to that in the description, as well as a link to our playlist of frosting and fondants. We have several fondant videos in there that you can look at. I have my stand mixer set up with the dough attachment, and I've also greased the dough attachment with some vegetable shortening. I'm going to start by adding 1 cup of powdered sugar and start mixing that in. And then I'm going to just keep adding powdered sugar until it starts to form a little bit of a ball. It's hard to say exactly how much powdered sugar you're going to need. You just want to keep adding it a bit at a time until you get it to a good consistency, and I'll show you what that looks like when we're done mixing this up. I added about 6.5 cups of powdered sugar to it to get it to this stage. It's nice and stretchy, and we want that if we're going to cover an entire cake. And now what we're going to do is knead it by hand until we get it to the consistency that we want. We can add a little bit more powdered sugar, or if it starts to get a little too dry, you can add a little bit of water to it. Now you just want to knead it by hand until it comes to a nice consistency like Play-Doh, but has a bit of stretch to it if you're going to use it to cover a cake. If you're going to, do cutouts only with it, then you could get it a little bit stiffer. It turned out to be this really nice pink color. You, of course, could add some food color to it. Add some red food color to get it a little more red, or some more pink to get it a little bit darker. So I've kneaded it and added maybe another 3/4 cup of powdered sugar to it. And we've got a pretty nice consistency. It's not real sticky to the touch anymore, and it's got some nice stretch to it. Now I'm going to wrap this in a couple layers of plastic wrap and put it in an airtight container and let it set overnight. Here are some examples of our Kool-Aid fondant. This is what we made in the demo with a full package of our strawberry jello. This is a half a package of our marshmallows with 2 tablespoons of water, and I melted it in the microwave just as before. And I added only a 1/4 teaspoon of the Kool-Aid while I was actually mixing it up in my mixer. So you can add it a little bit at a time while you're putting your fondant together. This is almost white. I used the lemonade flavor, and again, it's a half a package of marshmallows with 2 tablespoons of water. So if you want a white fondant with a little bit of a lemon flavor, you could use the lemonade Kool-Aid. I put a half a teaspoon of it in this, and I think it's a little strong. I think a 1/4 teaspoon would be plenty to give you a nice light lemony flavor. That's all there is to using Kool-Aid to flavor and color your fondant. You can use as much or as little Kool-Aid as you want. Unlike our Jello fondant that we made in a previous video, which has gelatin in it, so it can affect the consistency of your fondant. Go wild. Use whatever flavors and as much or as little Kool-Aid as you want. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please join our channel. You can click the link up above if you'd like. We hope to see you back real soon.